New tonight, the Science Center of Iowa says it could feel the effect of a recent executive order signed by President Trump. Trump's efforts to shrink the federal government include the dismantling of 7 independent government agencies.
One of those is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Iowa's received more than $20 million in funding from the agency over the past 7 years. KCCI's Ophelia Jacobson visited the Science Museum today to see what impacts they're bracing for.
When things get moving,
Always nice to stop in and see what's going on.
you can find Shauna Morell and her 2 boys at the Science Center of Iowa testing out the Slinky waves.
Since we homeschool, it's nice to have different community outlets for them to learn about science and technology.
Morell says she's grateful for the museum, but says she's disappointed
That would be very unfortunate.
to learn some programs may be in jeopardy. The Trump administration issued an executive order last week dismantling 7 independent government agencies, including the Institute for Museum and Library Services, or IMLS. It distributes thousands of grants nationwide to museums and libraries.
It can fund a number of things, from programming to exhibit upgrades to staff training to just general facility upgrades.
Vice President of Science Learning Rob Burnett says the nonprofit relies heavily on the multi-year grants. The museum received close to a $200,000 grant from IMLS in 2024.
We have been most recently told of, as of a couple weeks ago, to continue as originally planned and approved with the grant.
The What on Earth exhibit features creatures like snakes named Kisses right here, toads and salamanders. It's one area the Science Center says has benefited greatly from the IMLS grant.
Worst case scenario, a lot of projects that we've already been planning to do for a year or two would all of a sudden cease to exist.
Burnett says if the grant does disappear, they'll have to find money elsewhere.
It'd be just more difficult for us to find some of the ways to fund a lot of the projects that we'd like to continue on for years into the future.
Morell says she wants to see those projects continue on too.
It's important to speak up and advocate for even just the smaller things such as a grant, because it could have a trickling effect.
In Des Moines, Ophelia Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.